That's right, Darcy and JR. I'm on Crepe Myrtle Way right now, where, as you can see behind me, some strong winds actually knocked over a tree, and it split this home right open.
All to honor the music legend that unfortunately died just 1 week ago. What's even more special is that we have Prince's former drummer here. He's a Columbia native as well as a Keenan High School graduate. We've got artificial snow and this awesome snow slide. I think I'm ready. Okay.
The small town of Latta is looking for a new police chief. The town administrator says Chief Crystal Moore was fired because she wasn't doing her job right. And the attorney representing a fired Richland County deputy says his client wants his job back. The attorney for Ben Fields sent a letter to media and says his client was justified in forcibly removing a student from a Spring Valley High School classroom last fall, and he wants the sheriff's department to reinstate the officer. Happening today is the 5th annual Boosa Festival in KC. That's where we find News 19's Chuck Ringwald. Chuck, what's going on out there? Well, it certainly will be a beautiful day to head out and enjoy the weather. And one of the events you can stop by is Sertoma's 10th annual tailgate fundraiser for charity. It will be taking place at the Coop. And with us now are some of the organizers of the event. We have Mr. Joseph Azar, who's the president of the Columbia Sertoma Club, and Chef Jimmy. Chef Jimmy, what kind of food can we get?
We're eating some pulled pork.
And the man who tried to assassinate President Reagan 35 years ago will leave a Washington psychiatric hospital today. John Hinckley Jr. will live full-time with his 89-year-old mother at her home in Williamsburg, Virginia. Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity in the 1981 shooting of Reagan, his press secretary James Brady, and 2 law enforcement officers outside a Washington hotel. A federal judge ruled in July that Hinckley was no longer a danger and could leave the hospital, but the judge did put restrictions on his travel and who he could contact. Today at noon is the official start of our state's gator hunting season, and it runs through October 10th. According to DNR, anyone granted a permit can kill 1 gator from public waters or private land if you're given permission. Only alligators 4 feet or greater in length can be killed. Well, with gator season and shrimp season just starting this weekend, can the hunters expect favorable weather? The worlds of pop culture and comics are about to collide this weekend for the 2nd Soda City Comic-Con. We've got Spider-Man, we've got Batman. Tell me about what we can expect this weekend. Jim Hodges thinks the change is a bad idea. He says probably no historical figure could survive the scrutiny of their beliefs and actions in the context of current times. Today's Teacher of the Week says that she's known since she was a little girl that she wanted to be an educator. And it makes sense when you consider that she learned how to be a teacher from one of the best she's ever known.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can just see that the fish are all floating out here. It's kind of, as far as I can see, you can see white bellies.
Jason Bennett is a fishing guide at Lake Murray and says it's terrible to see all of the dead striped bass.
As an outdoorsman, you just hate to see our resource floating like this, but it's Mother Nature and there's really nothing you can do. We lose some every summer, but not to this extent.
It hasn't really affected his business yet, but it could, especially since the striped bass die-off is one of the worst we've seen since 2010.
It is an event that has happened many times in the past, and it's related to a depletion of oxygen in the colder stratified, lower stratified water.
South Carolina DNR fisheries biologist Ron Ale says with the high temperatures, the cooler water is at the bottom of the lake. But with October's flood, there's more nutrients in the water, which depletes the oxygen levels for the bass who are trying to get to the cooler water.
There isn't enough oxygen in the cold water to sustain the fish. We have the fish die off.
The living bass are still safe to eat, and they're encouraging everyone to continue fishing. DNR officials have counted 800 striped dead bass on top of the water.
The fish will sink after about 3 days of floating.
But the number that have died is something no one will really be able to figure out. Bennett just hopes the fish will stop dying soon.
We just need Jim Gandy to get us some cooler weather in here and some rain.
The DNR says they expect for things to get better as it gets cooler, but over the next few years, we could see smaller striped bass coming out of the lake since so many are dying off.
No one lives there. That's why I knew that he shouldn't have been there. I just figured that, Something shady could have been going on, you know.
Teresa Furby lives on Double Branch Road in West Columbia, and late last night, she noticed a cab with someone in it at the house next door. When she woke up this morning, it was still there.
The cab was still running. The lights were still on, so we knew there was something wrong. And my husband went out and checked, and he could see blood on the man's shirt, so I called the police and the cab company.
When deputies arrived, they found 30-year-old Michael Andy McMillan of Columbia dead.
This is not something that I want to stay around. And from my understanding, this street stays in a lot of trouble. A lot of stuff goes on this street.
Captain Adam Myrick is with the Lexington County Sheriff's Department, the lead agency on the case.
At this point, the West Columbia Police Department is assisting us in our investigation and giving us some information that will help us as we move forward.
Furby says all that's happened hits way too close to home.
I feel sorry for his family, and he probably has kids. He didn't look like he was an old man.
I would not have enough.
She was supposed to come next week, but couldn't wait.
But I'm so thankful.
Mary Washington depends on the groceries from Harvest Hope Food Bank to get her through the month.
When you have retired and they give you a certain amount of money, that money have to last within that month.
Folks like Miss Washington, who need a little extra help putting food on the table, could be in trouble.
All of these empty shelves could mean that thousands of people could go without food, so leaders here are asking you to do anything you can to help.
I need canned fruit, I need canned vegetables, I need canned meat. And it's really urgent. I mean, this is pretty scary to be this empty.
Harvest Hope CEO Denise Holland says the need has been great, with kids still out of school and flood victims still needing help.
Even if they've gotten their house back repaired, they have been in such turmoil for such a period of time that they still need some help with food just to get their lives back in order. And that's what we want. We want to stop hunger, we want to meet the hunger gap, and we want to get everybody in a place where they have the food that they need. I can't do it without empty shelves.
It's an issue Washington says the whole community needs to help with.
Anything, any amount, donate it, and it would be a help to you one day. You never know, because I did not know that I would be here.